Get it loading, and we're live. Hey, folks, thank you for tuning in here at the Nicholas WX Watch team here. We now have Chad, Michael, and Travis joining us this evening. Chad is going to be our radar tech as well as media manager. Same with Travis. And Michael is going to be radar tech and storm chaser out in Kansas. So we are continuing to watch and monitor this chance of seeing a very explosive day. We currently have a high risk in effect for the Oklahoma and Kansas regions. And we do currently have one tornado warning that is in effect, including the Cheyenne Valley region of Oklahoma and Togo region of Oklahoma. This is moving mainly east at around possibly 30 miles per hour, I believe, 40 miles per hour. With golf ball size hail falling with this. This is a radar indicated tornado warning. This is just the very beginning of a, again, very busy and long day that we're going to have ahead. And I'll go ahead and give Chad the stick. You want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Sure. So, hello everyone. I'm Chad, and Nick just actually invited me here to be a part of this stream. So, I just want to welcome myself and say hello to everyone. Pretty much what will be taking place is I will be helping Nick out with covering some of the storms tonight, giving out warnings, things in that nature. So, I just want to thank everyone for tuning in, and
Agreed,
let's
agreed. And I'll
do
go
what
ahead
we
and
can.
hand it over to Michael now if you want to go ahead and speak.
So yeah, my name is Michael. I'm with a different team. I'm storm chasing here in South Central Kansas. I'm currently at 55th and Broadway on the south side of Wichita. My target area is going to be Sumner County, Kansas, where I do have family members myself, and I know the area very well. Where we do have a high risk in my area. There's already a PDS tornado watch for most of South Central Kansas, North Central Oklahoma, and
That was
Nevada area. And I
Travis,
just
isn't it?
heard a beep. Nick, was that on your end?
That was
Okay.
me.
Okay. So we do. I just saw it pop up. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning. Not anywhere that we are monitoring the areas where Nick is showing on his screen of the stuff coming towards Wichita, where I'm going to be in the field. I will do my best to get videos and everything to him as well, and
That is
he is going to
correct.
be my
And
dispatcher while I'm out on the road.
Travis, if you want to go ahead and mention yourself too. Before you do that, though, uh, I am sharing my radar screen just in case y'all want me to pinpoint anywhere that y'all may see interest. Y'all can see my radar and make sure I'm pointing to the right direction in that point. So go ahead, Travis.
Hi everyone, my name is Travis Roy. I am co-owner and media director and radar tech for Northern Alabama Weather Watches. But we're currently focusing on this high risk area in the Oklahoma area region.
Great job.
And
Awesome. Yep, I got you.
that's it, Nick.
And real
Nick,
quick, I do want to turn off our warnings real quickly here, and we're going to go ahead and review uh, our SBC outlook and kind of give you a straight up view of what we're going to be dealing with today and kind of give you a view of where this risk is. So bear with me. I do have it pulled up, but I'm going to try to pull up a locator so I can keep a locator so I can keep up where Michael is at. Yeah, I'm just gonna try to keep an
I
eye
try
on
to
your
figure out where
area.
I am.
So I got your Live 360 up, so I could monitor. All right, go ahead,
I'm
y'all
currently
two.
sitting, but
Michael, go ahead first.
Oh, I'm sorry.
oh, I was just saying I'm sitting in one position for a minute. I'm waiting closer, and I'm waiting for some build up. I do know there is a little bit of spacing that I'm concerned between this Pratt storm and I think that Alva, maybe. Hold on, I'm trying to zoom in on it. Yeah, Alva, Oklahoma, where they have a tornado possibility uh, tag on it. But I'm trying to watch in between the two. Where that is where I'm more than like get hit. But in all the severity going on here in Wichita, they closed schools early. They nearly Oh, excuse me. Let a lot of people go home early from work. They even closed the, oh my gosh, banks, everything, early. So
Agreed.
the
And
severity is no joke.
again, that's the main thing that we're really. I'm very glad that Kansas and Oklahoma has decided to do that, because today is going to be a day that we do not want to mess with, for sure. And I'm really can't stress this enough, but you folks out here in Oklahoma and Kansas, y'all need to be in your safe place, or not in your safe place, but y'all need to be prepared to move to your safe place just in case. And just checking in, who has my audio currently playing?
You want to do the radar or
Yeah, I just
radio
hear
check
my feed
on the
coming back.
YouTube video?
Because I did review the
You have
stream,
to
the
plug in
last
me.
stream, just to see how it went, and we did have a little bit of echo last time, so I want to make sure that we don't have that issue this time. Go ahead.
Right. Hey
Yep,
Nick,
you're all good.
I'm sorry. Is this okay? I'm not. I just don't want to interrupt. Okay. All I just want to simply say too is, folks, you take a look at the atmosphere, the ingredients, the instability to shear, just so to speak. You look at all the parameters, right? And everything really is just off the charts today. I mean, even you look at the significant tornado parameters and all too, even they're off the charts. It goes over what's typically given, like as far as the values are concerned and all. So it's like everything is just off the charts today is the best way I can explain it. In the atmosphere, I mean, I'm just looking, I have my little radar system pulled up as is, and I mean, everything, it's just very volatile out there. And especially, this is going to be more of like a nighttime type risk, too. Tornadoes are very difficult, as we all know, to confirm at nighttime, right? So, really being safe, making sure you have a severe weather plan, and just keeping those things in mind, through the course of this evening into tonight, it's very, very imperative. And I'm looking right off again to the west of Oklahoma City, especially the north and west, if you will. I can really see a few supercells have developed, and even some of those being tornado warned, and even having winds going over 70, even 75 miles an hour, closer to 80, especially on the leading edge. So I would definitely say anyone pretty much way off to the north and west of Oklahoma City, be on alert, because these supercells, they will be moving fairly quickly. You know what I'm saying? And more will, of course, continue to fire off, right, all along that dry line. So definitely being on alert
Agreed.
and
Go
having a
ahead,
plan
Michael.
is the way to go.
Uh, I was going to say I'm going to continue on to his actually. Earlier today, when I was online around 10 or 11,
Mm.
you could see that dry line moving across all of Kansas, and it's basically almost to Salina at this point. I believe it's past it. I can't really check on my radar right now, but there was a secondary. There was the dry line, which was starting off some storms, and then there was a secondary line, and there was popping off a third line, but not anymore. It's dissipated at this point. But the second line, that's all the storms that are going on right now is the line behind the dry line. And looking at my radar actually right now, Nick, you might want to double check me if you guys all check me. There looks like there might be another cell popping off near Anthony, Kansas. Because looking to my south, see if I can get you guys a better view here.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing too. Right.
This is what I'm looking at to my south. Don't mind me sitting at a quick trip, but this is me looking at myself. You can see the trees blowing. You can see it's a little bit darker down there as well. You can't really see it as well as I can see it in person, but it is
Can you
really
repeat
dark
that location again, real quick?
already. Looking to my looking at my radar.
Anthony. Let's see.
Anthony, Kansas, maybe. I'm seeing it get darker. Anthony is about an hour and a half from me. Uh, So it's a little ways down there, but it does not take long for those storms to build up. That's what we've been seeing all afternoon is these storms, that tornado warning where it currently is, it didn't
Yeah, I
even
want to
the
mention,
last 30 minutes of
Michael,
work
we
at that
do
tornado.
have a cell just south of Anthony. If I'm looking at the right Anthony, we do have a cell just south of that area which could be rotating. It is a supercell on its own, and it does have some lightning activity. You could see that classical looking supercell type of shape to it there. It's still most likely getting its act together as we're still in the early stages of this storm, but it does have a severe thunderstorm warning on it with a tornado possible tag on it. I think you mentioned that earlier, didn't you? Yep,
Yeah,
okay.
on my
Same with
radar
me
it has
here.
tornado
So we'll
possible
go ahead
tag.
and view the
Yep.
velocity real quick. And what velocity basically is, correct me if I'm wrong, but velocity is just looking inside of the storm at the different winds, the strength of the winds and the direction of the winds inside that storm. That's how we detect or know if it's rotating and maybe indicating possibly a tornado on the ground later in the future.
Is,
Absolutely.
is that the rotation near Cape?
I won't
Oh,
touch.
your screen is lagging. Cape
Yeah, I believe so,
Palma.
including Cherokee, Burlington, and Alva. And that's moving northeast.
You're better off using Wichita
Yeah,
radar on
most.
that one, honestly,
Yeah, like
for velocity.
I don't understand that because sometimes you could get a close radar but not really get to see the actual velocity because of how close that radar is. But well, what you could do is also move the what you call it. You can move the what you call it tilt. There's the word. You can move the tilt up and down.
And just saying, within the last 30 seconds, it did get darker where I am.
Alright, so we do have, yeah, if you use tilt 2, we do have the some light rotation. That's mainly why it has that trail possible tag on it, because it's not strongly rotating, but it is rotating.
Tornado.
Near Alva there, just east of it, is that
Yeah.
the rotation I'm seeing, or is
Um,
that just the radar?
again, it might be just some weak rotation just east of Alva, Oklahoma. Go ahead, chat.
Hey Nick. Um, yes. So I do want to say, so I'm just looking at one warning, of course, out of many, right? And the one that's for Fairview. It's moving east again at 40 miles an hour. So far, it's radar indicated, right? And so that's good news. And like what I'm really thinking, at least now, since these supercells and just these storms in general, they're really starting to try to get their act together. You know, they're really firing off. Especially, I believe, me personally, is in the coming hours, really like 7, 8, even 9 o'clock later on, as these storms really, really get going. That's when they could really start having that really dangerous, just those dangerous signatures on there. And that's when some of those could be more on the long track side. It's just my thinking, and even now, even with some of these cells, you figure when these track off to the east, this environment being very unstable, as we all know, they're going to continue to move into that environment. And these will most likely soon hit what we call, potentially PDS criteria. You know what I'm saying?
I
Some
agree
of
with
these
you, and
could be on the long
not to
track
interrupt you
side.
there, Chad,
So
and I do apologize there. Uh, just to add on to that, we do have a PDS Trail Watch now. It is all right. We did just get that new warning. I was waiting on that. But we got a new PDS Trail Watch that is in and around the Oklahoma and parts of Kansas regions. I'll go ahead and kind of read this to you here. Yep. I was
Tornado
watching
warning.
that one storm. What it was is an extension to that other tornado warning there. Anyway, we do have, of course, that new tornado warning. I'll talk about that one here in just a minute, but I do want to mention about this tornado watch that we have. We do have a particularly dangerous situation tornado watch, or a PDS tornado watch, that is in effect till 11 p.m. Central Daytime out here in Kansas and Central Oklahoma. With that being said, widespread large hail and scattered to very large hail events to 4 inches in diameter likely. That's large hail, folks. That's extremely damaging hail that's possible. And wind gusts isolated to significant wind gusts up to 65 miles per hour is likely. And of course, we cannot forget to mention numerous tornadoes expected, with a few intense tornadoes likely, and also a few long track tornadoes are likely today, mentioned by the National Weather Service on the SBC outlook. And then we'll go ahead and talk about our new tornado warning. This is a radar indicated tornado warning. It's got 50 minutes on it. This has hail up to 1.75 inch and possible. This tornado warning includes southeastern Woods County and northwestern Oklahoma, southwestern Grant County and northern Oklahoma, and northeastern Major County in northwestern Oklahoma until 6:30 Central Daytime. This tornado warning does include radar indicated rotation and larger hail that's falling with it. Golf ball is expected. And Chad, Michael, and Travis, feel free to interrupt me at any time. If y'all see anything, I will not get mad or nothing like that. That's just the job of being a radar tech and forecaster. You're supposed to interrupt.
Well,
Right.
yeah, I'm gonna come on here for a second. Actually, I just texted my team leader of Malaco Weather. He said he's got family in Enid that I know of, and I let him know about that new tornado warning. On the very edge of that tornado warning is Enid, and I'm trying to get confirmation if they have sirens going off or not. But I do believe that that one actually has rotation on it. Looking at it right now, I can't tell because where the radar sits in, I don't know if that's an Enid or not because my radar is
Yeah,
facing that right
currently,
now.
not to interrupt you there, but
And
it's really hard to note or see what's going on. There's a lot of noise within the velocity uh, scans right now. But go ahead.
no, you're fine. Uh, it's difficult right now. We do have just popped up on my screen a flash flood warning somewhere in Virginia. Uh, give me 1 second here. If someone can
Location.
someone check the velocity for me on that.
Okay.
Give me 1 second. Dewey County, Oklahoma.
Is it south of that newer warning or north? I'll try to find it. You said
Good
Dewey.
question. I don't know. Dewey County, Oklahoma. It looks like there's something.
Let me see too.
Okay. Hey Travis, can you do me a favor and your moderator chat? Can you block off Caden Wild? Thank you. Okay.
Yes.
You do not say words like that in chat. I gotta monitor that as well. Anyway, so as you were saying, we're gonna continue to watch that as well. I got distracted by looking at the chat.
Where was that warning? I heard a beep. Oh, there. New severe warning for that storm. It's got a possible tornado hook on it as well. The one near Avard, Oklahoma. That warning, I believe, is about to end itself. It's likely get a new one. I'm trying to figure.
Yeah,
Try to find the.
Michael, you are going in and out a little bit.
Wait a second here. It's getting darker currently here. I'm looking at the radar, and it looks like it is starting to sprinkle outside. So I think it is going to start raining here.
I heard you that time.
How am I cutting in? I got good signal.
Hey Travis, I can hear myself again.
I was going to say feedback.
Excuse me. Sorry.
It looks like there's. No, you're fine. I think there's a third line for behind this line. Yeah, I would correct. So that first line, it looks like it's first line, the dry line, I think, is near Topeka. The second line is all these storms, and it looks like there's a third line behind these around the storms as well.
I do agree with you there, Michael, as well.
You see that?
I'm starting. It's radars. And that cell that's near Avard, it looks like it's strengthening as well, and it's starting to come towards Anthony, Harper, Kansas as well. So these storms are more going towards the north now. starting to anyway, near that storm that has the tornado warning. It's starting to split off. Some of it's going north, some of it's going straight east. I believe that's where our splitting cell, one of the first ones of the evening, is start splitting off. There's that one near
Most likely, yeah.
I don't. Yeah, near south of where the current tornado is. That one has a severe thunderstorm warning on it, and that one is going straight east. It should be hitting north of Oklahoma City.
Yeah, I agree with you there. And yeah, we did just get a new warning just south of Putuman there. I think it's Putnam. Putnam. Alright. I see where you're at
I
though.
don't know.
So
Sources
that's all good. As long as I can see where you're at, then all good here. But like you were just saying there is a storm just north of Putman and including Oakwood as well. This does have a tornado possible tag on it, as you were just mentioning earlier too. With larger hail and some lighter rotation ongoing within the storm. A little messy right now for us to really totally know what's going on, but it is a storm that is possibly could drop down a tornado later this evening. So if you are out in front of this storm, you need to be keeping an eye on this storm as it continues throughout the rest of this evening. This will be moving northeast at around 30-40 miles per hour throughout the rest of the evening. And I do want to mention we do still have our tornado warning, including the Clio Springs, Helena, Goltry, Hillsdale, and Carrier, Oklahoma. If you are out in those cities or towns, you need to be in your safe place now. Uh, be sure to bring a helmet with you. Bring anything that can protect your head, and put as many walls as you possibly can between you. Stay away from windows and doors and just stay there until the warning is allowed to expire. Go right ahead.
Absolutely. And Nick, may I say something too, if that's fine? So yeah, so I definitely agree with everything you're saying too. And as I look on the radar, I can really even see like more of a southern extent too, where supercells are going to fire off too. So I'd even say even in and around the Elk City area and pretty south from there too, more supercells would most likely develop in those areas too. So I'm just kind of watching that too for just a little more
Yeah,
development
I
to be
100%
taking place.
agree with you, Chad, with that. I do want to real quickly turn my gears back to the high risk that I was going to mention a little bit. Um, I didn't mention that earlier, so I do want to turn my attention to that real quick. So just keep me updated if there's anything new uh, update or anything there. But we do have a high risk that follows Interstate 44 and Interstate 35. This high risk includes areas just south of Wichita and parts of Wichita going all the way down and that's Wichita, Kansas, excuse me there. Going all the way down towards Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. So a very populated area is going to be affected by these storms today. We have a population of over, let's see, what's the population? Normally it tells you. Do any of y'all know the population that may be getting affected by the 200,000? All right.
I think over 200,000.
Yes.
I checked with the high risk area. Hold on, I'm getting
We'll say about 20,000 until we get it confirmed. Um, but about 20,000 can be affected by this high risk, by these stronger storms, and not to mention we do have a moderate risk that includes the parts of Woodward, Oklahoma, Elk City, Oklahoma, Altus, Oklahoma, Tulsa, Oklahoma. I got family living in Tulsa, so I would have to call them again today. And then I got some people that live out in towards Bartlesville, Oklahoma as well. Y'all are in a moderate risk as well for strong, long track damaging tornadoes, large hail, and damaging winds. And we also got enhanced risk that goes into Nebraska, Iowa, Missouri, including Texas regions. We got that slight risk that goes all the way up into South Dakota and Arkansas. including Texas. And then we got the marginal risk that also includes the North and South Carolina regions, Georgia, Alabama, and Mississippi, Tennessee, Kentucky, Illinois, Iowa, South Dakota, North Dakota, Minnesota, Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas. If I miss any states, go ahead.
Hey, Nick.
All right, all
I gotta
good.
hop off
Just
here real fast.
let us know what your plan is, and we'll continue to monitor radar for you. All right. And before we go back to the coverage on the tornado warning, I do want to kind of read the summary a little bit here. I don't want to bore y'all, but this is just something that we need to kind of mention here. Which not okay. Go ahead.
Nicholas, I had that number. The population area in this high risk is 1,896. Almost
So
200.
2,000
Almost
people
2,000
possibly
people in
within
this.
this high risk. Go ahead, Chad.
No, I definitely agree with that too. You know, there is again a lot of people, that are going to be impacted with these storms, and as we keep saying over and over, the best thing to do is, if you're under any one of these warnings, even if they're radar indicated tornado warnings, it's just to get the idea through of how fast these storms are just hitting severe criteria, and just to see how fast they all just sort of spun up, along that dry line. If you're under a tornado warning, if it's radar indicated, don't take that lightly, because, that could quickly turn into a confirmed tornado, and then before you know it, it's a long track tornado, and it's tracking for long periods of time. So you need to treat each and every one of these cells that are developing in this very unstable environment. You just need to treat each one of these cells um, very seriously, because they do mean business, and basically the whole idea is this isn't your typical sort of severe weather. The storms the type of storms that are going to be firing off, this evening and tonight, these are going to be very, very intense, very severe storms. Again, packing wind damage, of course, that risk for long track tornadoes. And unfortunately, what I even say to my people on my weather page too, or what I've sort of been saying today in my posts, where this could either be a life or death situation, and not to
Yes.
worry anyone, but it's just sort of saying it how it is, and speaking the facts, where um, being prepared properly, what I'm saying, that will really help you, making sure you have a severe weather plan in place, you have somewhere to go in the event of a warning, right? Making sure you have alerts on your phone, you have some sort of way to wake you up, even if you're sleeping tonight, what I'm saying, later on, and you're under a warning, you need to take these warnings very, very seriously. I can't stress that enough. These storms are really going to pack a punch. They're going to be very severe, and unfortunately, again, some of these tornadoes are going to be killers. We could be looking at even some EF4, maybe even EF5.
And
So definitely
right,
treat
and
all these
Chad, just
cells
to add with
seriously
that, like
is
you
the way
said,
to go.
when we get into the overnight hours, you folks need to be weather aware. You need to be keeping an eye. This does look like this will go on as a overnighter event as well, or a nocturnal event. We still got storms firing, and we still got storms moving into that area that has the most of convective available energy, or CAPE. So we're continuing to see those storms move into that right atmosphere, and as they do, they will continue to strengthen, and we'll continue to possibly see, again, like Chad just mentioned, long track damaging violent tornadoes possible throughout the evening. And that's unfortunate for these people out here in the Oklahoma City, including, the Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Norman, Moore, all those areas. You folks need to be just prepared. You don't need to be taking this lightly. You need to have ways to get warnings. You need to be keeping an eye out on the skies, and just be sure to have a plan just in case we do have a warning get issued for your area. And I do want to mention that one last thing about our high risk that we do have And this is a summary from the SBC Outlook and the NWS office, and I'll go ahead and mention this. A regional outbreak of severe weather with multiple intense EF3 plus long track tornadoes as well as very large and severe damaging hail is expected. Thunderstorm gust is expected over parts of the south central plains from this afternoon through the evening. So large hail, damaging winds, and long track damaging tornadoes are possible as well. And I do see somebody did ask me a question. I'll get to your question here real quick. Bear with me. All right, let's see. No, as long as you stay weather aware, you will not get hurt by any tornadoes by that chance. You got to stay weather aware, and you need to keep an eye on the severe weather.
I
Go
was
ahead.
gonna say something
Go right
actually
on
too,
ahead.
Nick. I was just thinking of
Thank you,
something.
Travis.
New
All
severe
right.
Um,
thunderstorm warning
Go
in
ahead.
Nebraska.
Chat. My brain.
Yeah, yeah, you're good. So not only this too, but one thing I'm noticing, right, even outside of the Oklahoma area too, really looking way off to the north, right, and even looking in
Yep.
Nebraska, there's a pretty mean lineup there too. So not only Oklahoma, but I mean, where I'm trying to get from is you can see how intense this dry line is and all the moisture that's surging up, and just one thing I want to say too why we're seeing what we're seeing is for just for people who may not know. This is a typical classic severe weather setup in the plains. You know what I'm saying? Where you get your dry line that sets
Thank you,
up.
Travis.
That
New
sort of
severe
provides.
thunderstorm. I'm gonna interrupt you guys for a minute. New severe thunderstorm warning. Tornado possible. Threaten. Consider it. Winds up to 60 mile an hour. Radar indicated hail.
Travis, to interrupt you.
2 to 2
Location.
inches
Oh, never mind. I got it. Never mind. Go ahead.
for Blaine in Major, Oklahoma until 6
For it,
p.m.
and I
6:30
appreciate that, Travis.
EDT.
Chad, if you want to go ahead and kind of finish talking up and finishing up on what you're saying and mentioning there, and then I'll talk for a moment as well.
Sure, sure. Yeah, and I want to thank you, Travis, for mentioning that too, my friend. Yeah, so definitely, treat these all
Okay.
basically like they're just treat them all very seriously. And just like I was saying too, with the dry line and everything, the dry line is what provides really a source of lift, right? That's what gets the storms really going, and you get all the moisture that surges up from the Gulf. And as we can see with today, that's sort of what's taking place right now. And as I was even saying earlier in this stream, you really just look at the overall parameters. You get a look of everything. Um, I mean, it's just off the charts. It's off the charts. And these, like I keep saying, these supercells, they're rapidly developing. They're really getting into that unstable environment, and it's really again that southern extent of where these supercells are, looking off to the south. I'm starting to see more development there too, and that's really where I'm sort of keeping my eye on. So to speak, I just want to take a look at that. And I did mention really even in and around the Elk City area too. It looks like around the Cheyenne area. Excuse me if I pronounce some of these wrong. Pretty much, if off to the west of Butler, it seems like there is a a cell, and it's really starting to sort of grow. And really it's looking like probably if anything, I'm just going to take a guess here and say in the next 10 minutes, it could hit severe criteria. And this could be another one that we're having to watch. So, also, even to the south of Cheyenne, too, pretty much there's another one I see that's just trying to form. So, as I keep saying, it's really that southern extent, right, that I'm going to be watching that I think we should be watching very closely. as we take a look pretty much at the trajectory, right, the trajectory of the storm, so to speak, some of them are moving east, some of them are
Thank
moving
you.
north,
Weather warning.
I
around
didn't get that.
30, 40 miles per hour um, type deal here. So, even so, definitely it looks like going into Kansas, especially southern Kansas, getting into
Agreed, and
some of those
thank you very much,
storms
Chad,
as
on
well.
that. I want to go ahead and pull our focus to this new tornado warning. Thank you, Travis, as well, for mentioning this. I did not get that update on radar for whatever reason, and just until now. But we have a new tornado warning in Kansas that now includes Clifton, Clyde, and Milton Val. If you are in those areas, be taking shelter now. This is a radar indicated tornado warning. We're going to continue to monitor the situation of this storm. We got 29 more minutes on the storm. It is moving northeast at around wind speed 45 miles per hour. Radar indicated rotation with some larger hail, just under an inch um, of hail going on in the Kansas region. This is mainly a QLCS type rotation or tornado development here. With that, we may see a quick spin up, move through, and then we'll see it move out fairly quickly throughout the regions here. And like Chad was mentioning earlier, we do still continue to see that very mainly straight line damaging wind threat now continuing in the Nebraska region and including Kansas. With that 60 to 70 to even 80 mile per hour winds can be expected. Larger hail and spin up tornadoes are all possible within this line of storms that's going to be moving through the Lincoln and Omaha, Nebraska regions. Take note that this area was impacted not long ago by tornadoes. So if your town was impacted by any severe weather previously and you are out there recovering, be sure to keep an eye on the weather here. And if you do hear thunder, try to find shelter the best you can, just evacuate the area. I did actually hear at one point that Sulphur is under its own local emergency. I forget what they said it was, but their Sulphur is still under a emergency, and they are still trying to recover the best they can. So if you're out in Sulphur and you're trying to recover objects and anything like that, be evacuating the town later this evening the best you can, or just now. Evacuate now. Try to find you a hotel somewhere and stay there. Just find a safe place the best you possibly can. As these storms, again, Chad and Travis and even Michael has mentioned that they are not going to be storms to play with at all. We're continuing to monitor our tornado warning, just including the Helena, Guthrie, Hilldale, Carrier, Enid, North Enid, and the Lahoma regions there. We currently continue to see radar indicated rotation and some larger hail, almost about 2 inch in size hail. That's going to be ping pong ball size hail to golf ball size hail falling there. I also want to mention really quickly about the rules on joining our live streams. Please do keep the chat child friendly and user friendly. We do not tolerate any cussing or other hateful words. We do appreciate y'all for tuning in, but be sure to keep the chat on a lower end. I should not have to say that, but unfortunately we do today. Continuing on to monitor this situation. Anybody else got anything to say about the risk here? Yeah, so far, we continue to see our tornado watch continue from the Texas regions going all the way up into Nebraska. So very.
Nicholas, take a look at the cell and look at velocity.
Is
The
that in
Helena is
Oklahoma?
the hook is starting to form.
Okay.
Yes. I think. Hold on.
Okay, yep, I see that.
Yes,
So folks, we do have a decent couplet here, still fairly weak, but we got a decent couplet just southwest of Helena, Oklahoma. If you are out in front of this storm, here's a better location here. If you are in Carwile, Oklahoma, you need to be moving to your safe place now if you haven't been already. We do have an area of rotation, not strong, but it's still there. We could quickly see a spin-up tornado. Actually, That might be just noise. But that did look interesting for a moment there. Yeah, I think that's going to be mainly noise. But I was looking at the correlation coefficient for a minute there. I looked like something might have been on the ground, but I don't think it's not on the ground. Now that velocity also could be a little bit of noise, but I think it's definitely rotating. Yeah, within the next past a minute or two, we did see that velocity kind of randomly pop up. So we're continuing to monitor this area. If you are in Carlisle, Oklahoma, you need to be in your safe place if you haven't been already. We
Yeah,
go ahead.
I am looking at a live stream. A funnel is starting to form, like the cone. Yeah.
Location of that?
That would be
Shallow Springs. Okay.
CLEO Springs, Oklahoma.
So that's with our tornado warning that we currently have in Oklahoma. So a possible funnel is forming out here again in Oklahoma, just south of Helena and northeast of Shallow Springs. Go ahead.
Hey Nick, so yes, so I definitely agree, and I want to say too, it seems like that Cleo Springs area, they've been under a warning actually for a while now, a long time as I'm looking, and now it seems like, just like you said, something's really
Yep,
starting
I'm starting to see that as well, and I'm just pulling up. This is not liable, but I usually sometimes pull up views of the Storm Chaser stuff on Radar Omega. They shouldn't get mad because it's on Radar Omega anyway. But I'm looking at this, and we're going to continue to kind of monitor the radar here on this end. It does look like you can see a bit of a wall cloud. Do y'all agree with me? I also see some rotation within their streams. That would be for Vince and Brandon. All right, welcome back, Michael.
Storm Chaser micro here.
But go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and let you know, Michael, we do have a broad area of rotation. Matter of fact, we do actually have a wall cloud now that's rotating, not violently, but it is rotating. You can actually see that there. I'll go ahead and pull this up. That's actually fairly strong rotation there from Vince's stream.
Give me
Cleo Spring, Cleo Springs, Oklahoma. That would be northwest of Enid, Oklahoma. That's in that tornado warning.
Oh, okay. So I will.
Yep.
Did you guys mention there is a new tornado warning in northern? I've been monitoring that one. That's why I joined back on. That one, I'm not seeing a lot of rotation with it. There is a slight little bit of rotation. There are reports of a funnel, but I can't confirm nor deny it because the source that I have is not very good with weather. I just have to go with instincts and say there's probably not anything with that one right now. Now, I am also monitoring the one that is starting to come into Kansas from Oklahoma near Anthony, Kansas. That cell has intensified within the last 15 minutes. I've seen it go from yellow to orange to red within 15 minutes in a small little area. So that one I'm going to be most likely going to be chasing once it gets up here to Wichita. If it does keep going on its track northeast, I will more than likely intercept it. And if I get a storm track on it real fast, it'll come into Harper. It'll probably go just north of Anthony. Go south of Harper, in between Anthony and Harper, maybe. But with the wind the way it is right now, we can't really tell a lot. Now there is also if I get a storm track, if I keep it going, I can't extend it any farther than I am. But it does look like it is going to hit Wichita.
Right, and not to interrupt you, I'm going to drag our attention back down south to Oklahoma real quickly here. If you are in Carwell, if you are now just following the road of EO E0380, you need to be getting off that roadway now and taking shelter. This storm here might very shortly drop a tornado here. We got a very tight, it's not very noticeable on radar unless you're very experienced and you know what you're looking at, but it is right here. This is where it's at. You can see it in the hook right there. A decently tight rotation there, and it is spinning.
Oh, yeah.
This could stop for a moment. It could recycle, and I think we are going to see that. We may see a brief spin up tornado touchdown, but by the time it does, it's going to lift, and it's probably most likely going to recycle again.
Nick, I'm going to interrupt you here. If you live in Canton, Oklahoma, you need to get away from windows, get into shelter. There's not a tornado warning with. There is a very large hail core on my radar. I have never seen this in my career. It is teal. It is light blue. It is very teal.
Yep, very strong
Is,
hair cooler, and I see what
believe
you're
a
looking
strong
at
hail
too.
core, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that one has a very large, dangerous hail core on it. I'm guessing maybe 2 inches.
I do want
Long,
to.
maybe
I don't want to
maybe a
interrupt you
little
here,
bit
but I do
bigger
want to
than
mention
that
there
as
is
well.
a tornado
I have
possible tag on that storm as well, and it does have some brief areas of rotation within it as well. So just keep that in mind as well.
and it looks like they might extend that warning or might toward tornado warning. But trying to get a good lock on it. I can't get the source of hail. It looks like 2 inches more on that storm, and the hail core is going north or south. It's that way. Uh, but that's still near Anthony into
Which one?
can you check that for velocity? My radar. Anthony, southwest of Anthony directly. It looks like
Yep,
there
actually
might be
that
a
storm
storm
in
change
Anthony, or
direction already.
southwest of Anthony, like you said, that one's had a hook in it for a while now. And it looks like it is trying. We got one storm chaser north of Anthony that's out there. So as the storm continues to move through, we'll possibly see him or see something from the storm on his footage. So we'll keep that in mind. I'll pull it up off camera the best we can. But yes, I do agree with you, Michael. We do have maybe some that storm hooking out a little bit. It's not exactly rotating yet, but you can see there's most likely a little bit of an outflow boundary coming out from this storm. Do you agree with me, Chad and Michael and Travis? Do you
I was just actually going to say I do, yes, and I can't even see that too, especially looking a little to the south and west there of Anthony. I do see a little bit of an appendage, if you want to say, a little hooking trying to develop there. So there is definitely um, tightening. It seems like for the most part that could start to take place, and this could be another cell that we have to monitor very closely. But
agreed?
I
And
do I do
so
see
yeah,
Anthony
if you are in
is
Anthony, this is something that we are going to continue to watch for. Again, that's Anthony, Kansas. It's just developing. Go ahead. Yep,
Tornado
yep,
on the
thank you.
ground.
All right, so now we got a confirmed tornado on the ground, just south of Helena, Oklahoma. That's going to be, again, just south of Helena, Oklahoma. This is a observed tornado that is on the ground by chasers, I'm pretty sure, because we got vents right on it. I do apologize about that there. That's
and
family.
right.
You're fine.
Okay, yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Yeah, evidently at 6:10,
Yep.
yeah, confirmed tornado was located. Okay, 4 miles south of Helena. It's moving northeast at around 45 miles an hour. So
Yep, so
yeah,
we got a
weather spot was
confirmed, and this is
confirmed
probably going to be a
tornado
brief
evidently,
tornado that's on the ground, but we have a confirmed tornado that is on the ground in Oklahoma.
and it's looking like the weather service are saying
I'll
mid
be right back,
Helena,
folks.
Goldtree, Nash, Hillsdale, and Carrier. Those locations
I'll be right back.
they seem to be in this morning, according to what I'm seeing.
All right, I copy Nick. So folks, I do want to say if you are, what was that town again? So yeah, if you're where,
I'm sorry. So it's saying for the location. So Enid, Helena, Gulftree, Nash, Hillsdale, and Harrier. Those locations they're in this warning. Um,
Okay, so this is sorry. I don't mean to laugh in this situation, but I did just get a text from my dad. He's a lieutenant colonel in the United States Air Force. He's currently stationed in
I'm right
Marshall Air
back.
Force Base in Southern California, and he just said he has KC-135 healing plane. He has a couple of them in on his flight line, California. So it looks like the Air Force has actually evacuated most of its aircraft from the Wichita McConnell Air Force Base here. Looks like they've evacuated their flights, and he just said jokingly, "Hope you stay safe and hope your vehicle stays on the ground." That's something we don't joke about, but if it's family member, he knows. He knows I'm very safe. My very a lot of people don't know, and I know we're live. And my very first storm chase was actually the Andover tornado, which I was not predicting to see a tornado on that storm, but for a very good chase or a very first chase,
Yeah,
I'd
and
say
I do want to jump
I had
in
some good
here
luck.
real quick. I know I just came back from disappearing for a moment there, but you mentioned about the Air Force, or yeah, the Air Force and military evacuating the Wichita area. They did that last week as well during that moderate risk I think that we had over there in including the Oklahoma and Kansas region. So that would be the same area. And that being said, them evacuating should also tell you that that's something they're very concerned about. And you need, if you're in a trailer park, you do also need to be moving out of that trailer park as well and moving to a safer place. Go try to find a family member, maybe find a hotel outside of the risk or that has a safer place for you to take shelter or seek shelter just in case that you get issued under a tornado warning and you have to deal with damaging winds or a possible tornado impacting your town. So be sure to get out of trailer parks. If you're in a camper park, I can't stress that enough. You need to also RV park. You need to get out of that area as well. Um, I want to mention that we still got the storm in Putnam and Canton, Oklahoma. These two, I wouldn't be surprised if they ramped up enough where the NWS and possibly Norman decides to issue a tornado warning, especially for the one just in Putnam. Putnam, however you want to say that town name. I do apologize if I say your town name. Wrong, but if you are in Putnam, you do got a bit of rotation just to your north. We're going to continue to monitor that as well. But as of now, these are two severe thunderstorm warnings with large hail and a possible tornado tag, or yeah, possible tornado tag that's on it as well. That would be the one in
What
Putnam,
storm are you
and the other
mentioning, Nick?
one is in Canton, Oklahoma.
Yeah, the Canton storm. It is currently now going through Canton, Oklahoma, where at the very center of that it does still have that teal coloring, which means it still has that large hail core. I'm guessing more than 2 inches. And I
Hey
do want to say
Travis, we're getting back
two active
backbeat
tornado.
again.
One, we do have two tornado warnings on the board for us. One is a confirmed tornado. The other one in northern Kansas. I'm trying to get my sources up there, but I can't get in contact with anyone, probably because they're on that storm themselves. Um, I'm also trying to get a contact in Anthony, Kansas. He does tell me actually he does have some pea-sized hail with it. It might be getting larger. He can't tell. He's driving right now, so I'm not going to bug him anymore. But he does say it looks like it might be intensifying, it might be growing as it's getting closer to that risk area line. Where that storm is, I believe it's in the moderate section right now. So as these storms get closer and closer to the high risk area, they will start to build up more and more. And I'm actually shocked myself to see where these are storms are currently at, just being outside the high zone today. And I do believe, Nick and Chad, you guys want to double check me behind that tornado warning. It looks like there's another cell popping up. I'm not sure if that's the tornado themselves or debris ball, but it looks like there's a cell building behind the tornado warning, like on the very bottom of it. I can't tell if that's a debris ball or something else.
Oh, I sort of see what you're saying. It
New tornado
could very
warning.
well be.
I
Yep, for that
don't
storm
know.
that I was just
No.
mentioning,
Yeah, it's hard to
including
tell.
Putinman.
There's a warning.
So if you, all right, I'll go ahead and mention this if
Yep.
y'all don't
Okay.
mind here real quick. If you are out in Putnam, Oakwood, and Canton, Oklahoma, we just mentioned y'all just a moment ago. We now got a rotation here that is strong enough for the NWS the NWS in Norman, Oklahoma to issue it as a tornado warning. This is a radar indicated tornado warning. You can expect 1.75 inch in size hail somewhere around golf ball to correct me if I'm wrong, golf ball size hail, maybe larger. And again, this is a radar indicated tornado warning. This is until 7 p.m. Central Daytime at 6:19 p.m. Central Daytime. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Putnam, moving east at 40 miles per hour. Hazard, tornado, and golf ball size hail. So somewhere around that, yeah.
Okay.
So if you are out in that area, you need to be taking shelter now. Be sure to grab a bicycle helmet if you can. Find something to protect your head and seek shelter in a small interior room away from doors and windows. And put as many walls as you possibly can in between you and the outside as possible. And stay there until this warning is allowed to expire.
Nick, I will say this about what
Yes.
you just said. Bicycle helmets and all that. You do need that to protect your head. Sometimes bicycle helmets are not the way to go, depending on the hail. I myself, in the trunk of my car, which is not
Yep.
where it should be right now, I have a baseball helmet in my car for the hail. The last storm Nick and I worked with
Yep.
together was that a couple weeks ago or last week, Nick, if you remember correctly. I was in Andover. We had a bunch of golf ball size hail, and I did have a few chips in my windshield afterwards. And we did have a few accidents, but we did not have any tornadoes with that storm, even though there were tornado warnings. There was a brief spin up north of Wichita near Park City after the storm passed, which was kind of weird, but it did happen. And with these storms, I'm expecting the same thing to happen because here in Kansas, we cannot predict weather. It can change within 5 minutes. The storm that this is why I keep mentioning the Anthony storm. It keeps going up, it keeps going down, it keeps intensifying, keeps detensifying. You can just not tell anymore as these storms are moving. And with that new tornado warning as well, it's got on it. It's also got some teal on it as well. So both of the storms, most of these are hail producers at this point, and as they keep going south towards Texas, towards the Texas Panhandle, I'm expecting some hail with that as well. And
Yeah, I agree with you
hail
there. And
possibly
if you do recall, the people that joined us last time we were live, we did have that large tornado outbreak that happened out in the Oklahoma region as well, and we had our storm chaser Ian Malico on some of those storms as well. So we had Michael and Ian. So you folks might know Michael fairly well from just hearing his name and hearing his voice over Zillow as he was chasing out there last week, but he is again chasing once again today towards the closer to Wichita Falls, Wichita area, correct? Yep, I know. I keep saying Wichita
Wichita,
Falls there.
Kansas, now Wichita Falls. There is a difference.
But go ahead on what you were gonna
Every
say.
time, it's all right. That storm there, Anthony, is on the backside. I don't know how to explain it. It's weird how to describe it. Looking at the radar, it looks like it's going backwards, more towards the west than the east now. I can't tell if it's back building. It might have a. I think it does have a slight hook on it now. It is intensifying again. There is some pink near the Anthony Airport anyway, and to its north as well. It is building as it keeps coming towards me at this point. I'm not seeing any other cells near it, and there is a third line that is starting behind these in northern Kansas. That's how it started today as well. Most of these storms started in northern Kansas. They worked their way east. As they got more east, it started to build up towards the south. That's what these storms are right now. The ones that are currently active with all these warnings is basically the second line or the
Yep.
first line of storms, I believe. Also, we do have a new tornado warning on that storm near Galtley. That's the one with the confirmed tornado warning. I'm not sure if it's
They
still
have it
active
as a
or not
radar indicated tornado
until
warning,
looking
so
at the
I'm
radar
assuming
again.
that it's not on the ground anymore.
Yes, but as we do state, as we have stated in the past, right now, it was on the
And
ground
I
earlier,
wanna
so this
mention,
storm is
sorry to
going to
interrupt
be
you
hitting
there. I was
Galtley
watching
momentarily.
Vince stream for a
As
moment there. This storm, if you're out, and I don't recommend you to be outside watching it, but if you did see it briefly, you could see it had a classical supercellular look to it. As Vince was driving up closer to the hook echo there, you were able to see the just the wrap around. You could also see the flanking line behind the wall cloud there. So this is again, as Michael was just mentioning there, this is not a storm that you need to play with. This is a storm that you need to be taking shelter. It has previously produced a tornado. It was very brief, but it has still previously produced a brief tornado there, and we could see it produce maybe a stronger tornado as it begins to recycle and get its act together, because that's what it's mainly doing, is trying to get its act together and work its way up through the region. And correct me if I'm wrong, and or if y'all agree with me there.
I do agree.
I agree as well. We also do have a new severe thunderstorm warning extended on to the one that has that tornado possible tag. This is the storm that does have that tornado warning. To the north, it's on the very edge of the tornado warning. There is this new severe thunderstorm warning, and it does look like the cell is intensifying yet
You
again.
talking
As
about
it's
that
pinging
storm in
out, it
Okini,
did not have that before. So it looks like
or just west of Henzi,
uh,
Oklahoma?
Enzy Kinsey, yeah. I think it's that one right there. It's the one near Enid. I'll give you that. Also, we do have another severe thunderstorm warning. That's a new one as well, with the one near Okini, Oklahoma. That storm is the one with the current tornado warning, and the one that was in. Oh wait,
It's
I'm
the
sorry.
one
That's not the one with
northeast
the
of that.
tornado warning, but it is the storm that was in Canton. That one does have a new severe thunderstorm warning, and that hail core is still not letting off. There is still teal, and there is still pink.
Uh,
So that
Go
storm
ahead.
is mostly a
Sorry.
hailstorm. Also, back one more second. The storm also near Anthony is also intensifying, and he is seeing very heavy rain and large hail.
That's fairly large hail
Not
still
large
at the
hail, sorry,
most.
golf ball size.
Damaging hail. Uh,
He's still currently on my screen, so
okay.
he might be miss. Okay, sorry. He says
Okay.
pea-sized hail. I picked the wrong
I do want to mention here
indicator.
about my color tables on radar. It may look more significant than it may be, but even if it does here, you can still see there's going to be a large amount of hail still falling just west of Oakwood, Oklahoma. Just again, northwest of Oakwood, Oklahoma, and also west of Okeene, Oklahoma as well. Um, two O's at the same time, and with Oklahoma, that's so wonderful. But I was saying, large hail is still going to be falling throughout these regions as well. Even if you're not in a tornado warning, that hail and those damaging winds can just be as damaging as a tornado, just not as significant. You still need to be in your safe place, away from windows and doors, and just stay indoors. Put as many walls as you possibly can between you. We currently have four tornado warnings: one in Kansas, three in Oklahoma. We're going to continue to monitor these tornado warnings as well. We'll go ahead and take a look at this one in Kansas. Lord, uh, go ahead. All right.
Nick,
So we got. Go ahead.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Hey, Nick. Oh, I'm sorry. Um, yeah, so I do want to mention too, looking at these storm cells, there's some pretty intense forward flank downdrafts too. I mean, the rain and the way it's coming down and the hail, and just as he stated, too, with the hail, some pretty intense hail cores too. So definitely, you don't want to be anywhere near outdoors in any one of these particular cells. Just some very intense forward flank downdrafts, and even with the gust fronts too, especially the rear flank gust fronts and all that coming in. Those seem to be pretty intense too. There's some pretty intense winds out on the leading edge of these supercellular type storms. So definitely, even if you're not in the storm itself, you're still feeling some very, very strong winds, but once you really start to get into some of that action, right, into some of that storm, you're really going to start to feel those winds really ramp up on the leading edge. And that's pretty much that rear flank gust front, so to speak, that you're feeling come in evidently. So definitely, as you were saying, Nick, you don't want to be anywhere near windows. You want to stay away from windows. You want to be hunkered down in a safe spot, safe area, and
Yep,
really
I agree
monitor
with you,
those storm
Chad. And
warnings
I do want to mention
continuously.
as well, we are down to two tornado warnings now, two in Oklahoma. They allowed that one in Kansas to expire. They allowed the one including the Helena region to expire as well. And as Chad was saying, there is I do agree with you on that. The forward flank downdraft is pretty notable here as well, and even maybe the rear flank downdraft as well is pretty notable. I was watching a stream out here towards it was that one storm that had that confirmed warning near Goldtree, Oklahoma. I was watching Bench stream, and you could just see the classical supercell look. You had that wall cloud, you had that front and rear flank downdrafts around it, and you even had that flanking line. So very, very uh, classical supercells. That's what I was looking for there. With these storms as well. We're continuing to really see these continue through the very rich environment that we have up here in Oklahoma. Um, as we continue to see the storms near Elk City move closer to the environment, we'll most likely see those start up and start rotating there. They're kind of out of radar reach currently. I can't really get a close look on these storms, but I can see that large hail possibly falling within the storm in Butler and maybe Elk City, Oklahoma, and those are moving northeast around possibly 40 miles per hour. Uh, 30 to 40 miles per hour, and these will later on impact either Oklahoma City or north of Oklahoma City. And if you got family members in Tulsa, they are not currently under a tornado. Well, actually, correct, there is parts of northwestern Tulsa, Oklahoma that is under a tornado PDS tornado watch, but as of all the Tulsa, it's not really under that watch yet. But I would, as these storms continue to move through, I would expect a new watch to get issued for them later this evening. But this is going to be a very long-term event, and it's probably going to last till midnight tonight, most likely. Welcome back, Michael. All good.
Yeah, sorry. I am back. So
And Chad, do you see anything else that may be catching your eye, or Michael, either one?
You know, um, I'm looking right now, honestly, and not really. I'm just really waiting to see if some of these really
Right,
become um, confirmed, on the ground. Some of these can really become long track. That's what I'm looking for. As of right now, like if you were asked, like, for my opinion, I don't really see anything otherwise than what I'm seeing right now really stand out to me. Of course, other than those forward flying downdrafts, right? They're
right.
pretty notable on radar. As you were saying, Nick, and just how intense they are, and like with those hail cores and everything.
Yep,
Just stay away from windows, and definitely be in a safe spot. You want to be away from windows and all that, because these storms are very mean, based on what I'm seeing here. So I don't really see anything new
right. All
today,
right, and I
but
thank you for
I'm
that,
gonna
Chad. I want
keep
to hear
tracking.
Travis. Do you got anything for us if you're there? Okay. I'll give
Not
you the
really,
job as
not
well
yet.
as keeping an eye on
Um,
media. If you see anything on media, let us know as well.
Yeah, I'm doing that.
Like as of right now, I don't see. So far, it seems like for the most part, the radar indicated. So that's good news, you know. And of course, we want it all to stay that way. Um, I mean, according to what I'm seeing, I don't see anything right now that says it's confirmed, at least for the moment. So on good terms, that's good. But if I do see something come up, I will be sure to let you know. And definitely a lot of these too. I just want to mention they seem to be moving east and even northeast, you know, anywhere from 35 to 45, even 50 miles an hour. So, not they're moving like maybe relatively quick, but they're moving. Well, they are moving at a pretty good speed. But I do notice it seems like, especially with the one, right, that we said that was confirmed, these really seem to be the types of storms that are just kind of dropping and going, you know, and I really believe, especially later on, some of these that develop, you know, there could even be some long track tornadoes, especially later on tonight. And that's really from at least everything what I was hearing all over. You know, they were really saying, especially going into tonight, that could really be the main concern. You know, when you have people that are sleeping and stuff like that, um, you know, these storms can be very intense then too. So, as you were even saying too earlier, Nick, this will be a nocturnal type event, you know, and of course, tornadoes, you know, they're difficult to confirm at night, and that just kind of makes the situation worse.
Right.
So,
And I do want to mention as well,
let's see how
Chad,
this plays out.
just keeping an eye on the radar here. You can kind of see somewhat of a classical supercell. You got some supercell notebook type, yeah. That Yeah, textbook. There you go.
Familiar with
Supercell
characteristics.
looks to out
Textbook.
here in the Oklahoma region. This is what you
Yes.
normally see. Um, it's just the amount of time if they get into that environment, which they really are in that environment now. As they continue throughout the north central Oklahoma and northwest Oklahoma region, they continue to move closer into the stronger wind shears. And I was actually reading something earlier today on Twitter of somebody mentioning for the first half of this, we're going to see that damaging wind and larger hail threat. But as we go into the overnight event, go ahead.
I hate to interrupt real quick. Um, this is a report from a train spotter
Okay.
in Blaine County, Oklahoma. Baseball-sized hail are reporting from a
All right.
Twitter post.
So he
Yeah.
said, go ahead. Can you name
Where
some
at?
count, like city names, if you possibly can?
Um,
Canton?
Kent. I don't know how to
Okay.
pronounce it, but
Thank you.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
That's
Canton,
so we
you
were.
did most likely, you're either continuing to see that or previously saw baseball sized hail move through your region. And if you are out in front, or if you're in Okini, going towards even Oakwood, be prepared as you're probably most likely going to see exactly what Travis mentioned baseball, maybe larger sized hail. And that kind of coincides with what I was saying. Uh, these supercells are going to continue to really produce large damaging hail and gustier winds as they get ready to move into that nocturnal stage. Once we get that nocturnal era there, we'll start to begin to see that upper, I forget what they call it, it's that upper layer shear in the atmosphere that really starts to get our storms uh, turning a little bit. Chad, if you know, or Michael, or Travis, y'all can kind of mention that.
Well, I do more of that, like that upper.
Yep,
I
the
just
jet
had a
stream
term and
up
I just
there.
fell off. It's some with that
There
jet,
you go.
right?
Yeah, it's a
You
lower
have that
level jet
strong
out there.
low-level jet or something along those lines. You have the strong low-level jet that's moving through. That's really
Yeah.
going to help those winds turn with height. That's even going to provide that lifting that's needed and really that strong. And you were correct, Nick, on that upper level shear. That's really going to help with that lift and that shear and really get those winds veering with height, just sort of coming together and get more of those rotation aspects. And just like you said, it's going to be more of that nocturnal, more of that night risk. You know, that's going to be a concern when people are sleeping. And that's where it
Right.
comes down to making sure you have those weather alerts on. Safe place to go, as we're seeing over and over.
I agree with you on
Be
that, and
prepared
I'm
and
gonna also
understand.
mention if you're out in Okanee and just northeast of Okanee, Oklahoma, I wouldn't be surprised to see the National Weather Service issue a newer tornado warning for this storm or supercell here. Not exactly rotating strongly just yet. Oh, there's a new warning right there. So we did just get the new warning in for the Okanee, Oklahoma, and Hinsey, Oklahoma region. That's going to be radar indicated with 50 minutes left on it. But there is that rotation there that was noted now, and the National Weather Service agrees. They issued that warning, and and just look at that supercell though. That's impressive. Look into it.
Nick, I just got a report from from that city. Um,
Half
the
dollar
half
size
dollar
hail. So
size
that's going to
hail
be
are falling from the sky right now.
okay, so that's large
Reported
damaging
from
hail. Again, if you are
Messenger.
out on the roadway, you need to be getting off that roadway. Please do not park under overpasses. That is one thing that you do not need to be doing. That is something that we stress enough. And Michael and Chad, if you have something you want to say about that, go right on ahead.
I do real quick.
Yeah,
There's
so do I.
one thing about this. Just by the looks of it, it's really concerning to me is just with the way how it's turning up. Not only the hail and all, but really
Yep.
just kind of seeing like, could you pull up a velocity signature again, if you don't mind? Um, just looking at this here, it seems like it's just the looks of it. I don't know, something about that's just kind of triggering me. And okay, yeah, so pretty much almost passing, yeah, right over.
And I'll go
But I
ahead
was
and
going to say,
kind
a little to
of
the
zoom in a
south,
little
you can
bit
really
here.
see those outbound and inbound winds towards. Um, yeah, if I was going to say if you could go in a little more, but okay, yep. Yeah, so a little to the south, it looks like a Bikini area there.
It's
And
moving
which
mainly
way,
northeast at
is it
around
moving
most likely
east,
30 to
Nick?
40 miles per hour.
Northeast. So it seems like, yeah, the eastern side of Okenia, they could potentially be getting
Right.
hit, not
Yeah, I agree
directly
with you on that, Chad.
there.
And yeah, continuing to see that you can see that velocity wrap up in itself a little bit there, fairly decently. It just really strengthened here within the past few scans, and there it is right there, south east of Okeene, Oklahoma. So if you got family out there in Okeene, Oklahoma, or just south of Okeene, they need to be in their safe place. Now, if you're on road Highway 51, however you want to say that, county road, and any road that you're on out there, if you're on that road, you need to be finding a safe place now, getting off the roadway the best you can, as this velocity or rotation is going to be moving over that road here very shortly, or at least going parallel with it for a short time before moving into Caddo and Lacey, Oklahoma. Very tight velocity ongoing with this one now. And wow, look at that hook echo.
Who has?
Most likely
Yeah, I was
Travis
about to
and
say who
me.
has that
I
dingo
know I've
voice
heard
going
mine
on
ding
there?
a few times.
Yeah.
Yep, see, there went mine.
Sorry.
I was gonna say if we could tune that.
I was gonna say, and you can really see, yeah, you can really see that inflow there, and just how intense. Just looking at the structure of it. If this can in fact really hold together and produce even some more, I don't want to say more tightening, but this something about this, and especially even looking off to Southwest too, even today, looks like south there of Canton. It almost looks like these two are sort of. What I'm trying to say is these two are almost like merging
Yep.
together. If you notice there, little merging action taking place with the two cells being tornado worn. So if it maybe comes together a bit more, maybe even into like a small line per se. Is kind of
I
my
do want to
thinking here, where
mention
you can just
when
see
we
how it's
do get
merging.
that
That's what I'm
merging
speaking
sometimes,
of there.
that will, I always say this when we start seeing some cells merging together, it will maybe briefly kind of slow down that storm the best it can and kind of take all that energy together as it's kind of it's 10 4. We'll take a look at it here. Uh,
New tornado
Kansas.
warning.
All right.
Yep. New.
But I'll continue to say what we
Kansas.
say as we take a look at the Abilene, Kansas region. Again, as the cells begin to merge into each other, one will take over the other a little bit, and then we could get a resurge in energy. It could try again, and that's when we could start seeing a maybe stronger tornado develop within that storm. And Chad, if you do agree with me,
I do, yes, and that's exactly what I was speaking of there. I do want to mention too, maybe for some that may not know, typically if those storms can even sort of merge together a little more, right, and who knows, even form a little of a line, sort of like this. It's almost like a squall. It'll really tend to become more of a damaging wind risk, and even sometimes, even like with this one embedded ULCS type tornadoes, but more of a damaging wind risk when it's of line. The ones that really are concerning to me are the individual supercells, those that develop, those individual sort of cells, because they can tend to really get the most energy and suck the most energy in, I should say. And those are the ones that I look to really worry about the most. Not to disregard the squall lines too, but I always found that the individual cells, those can be a little um, more energized, more
Confirmed
dangerous.
tornado, by the way. Confirmed tornado
Oh,
southeast of Okeen.
um,
oh,
okay, not surprised. That was a
nice.
fairly strong. Yep, now we got a really strong velocity couplet there. I also want to mention, as we do have a confirmed tornado on the ground, we also have 2 inch in size hail also falling with this storm. So that, again, that as Travis mentioned earlier, that's half dollar size hail possibly falling, and you can actually, looking at correlation coefficient, you can see the inflow within this, mainly noise, but sometimes you can use the correlation coefficient to kind of look at the inflow within the storm. I believe that's what I've noticed anyway. But we do have a confirmed,
Right,
possibly large
right.
damaging tornado on the ground north of Parvin and west of Lacey. If you are out in front of this, you need to be taking shelter now. Do not run, do not walk, but run to your shelter. Be sure to bring most notably a baseball helmet with you. If you don't got a baseball helmet, at least find a basketball helmet. Okay. Um, grab a bicycle helmet or any usable helmet that you have to protect your head. And be sure to just kind of kneel down somewhere, cover your whole body, be sure that you're in a safe place. But this is going to be, again, possibly a large damaging tornado on the ground. You've got a strong couplet currently ongoing just southeast of Okeene, Oklahoma. You need to be moving into your safe place now. Wow. Go
Don't
ahead.
wait to see the tornado. Go to
Mm. Yeah, it's and that's the one. Like I was saying too, Nick. Even add on what you were saying too. Though that one that's sort of merging together with that cell in and around the Canton area too. Those were the ones I was worried about, and I figured that would be a very interesting hook to that. And in fact, we're seeing it right now. I knew just by the looks of it,
Yep, yep. I
that's
agree with
that
you.
structure there.
On that, that's an intense structure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh
You're
yeah.
all good.
Oh wow.
Uh,
Oh
that
look at that. Oh my gosh.
that's
I'm sorry.
gonna be the most
Wow. Oh wow.
impressive structure that we've seen today. Out here in the just east of Okeene, Oklahoma. Now we got a very strong, again, continuing to see a strong velocity couplet now going northeast on 51. If you are on 51, get out off the road now. Find shelter immediately. Do not park under any overpasses. Just get off the road immediately. This is again going to be moving northeast around 30 to 40 miles per hour. This is a confirmed large, possibly damaging tornado with tennis ball size hail falling. This was reported by broadcast media. It is a confirmed tornado on the ground once again. Impact flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. That being said, if you are in a mobile home, be able right now, I need you to evacuate out of that mobile home and move into a sturdy building the best possible way you can. That goes the same with the people in a RV. and damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles will occur. Tree damage is likely. Locations impacted include or will be impacted is Enid, Hensley, um, Wakamois, Wakamis, Okini, Bison, that's Vance Air Force Base, and Lacey. Again, that would be Enid, Hinsey, Wakamonis, Okini, Bison, Vance Air Force Base, and Lacey. You need to be in your safe place now. And here we go again. We got two. We're probably going to see two tornadoes now on the ground, likely. We got two velocity couplets. Oh my gosh. Hey, Michael, do you mind muting real quick? Your audio is overcoming a bit there. I do appreciate it. Sorry about that. But look at this. That's an impressive. Go ahead.
Yes.
I was just saying that's an impressive tornado, and now we got two different velocities now being shown there. So you need to be in your safe place.
Yeah, that storm that's producing a tornado right now.
We
Behind
just
it,
got a
there's
new
a
tornado warning.
possible another tornado behind on that cell.
Yeah, we
The
got a
second
tornado
tornado
warning now,
warning
including the
behind that
Hitchcock,
tornado warning.
Loyal,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Wichita region of Oklahoma. You folks need to be in your safe place now. Things are starting to begin to actually get a little bit serious again. A little bit here. Not saying that it wasn't serious. Is that going to be the
New tornado warning.
where's?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
there's another one behind that, Nick. Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Yep. So
If you, yep.
Is this for that
okay.
cell?
Okay.
That
And
south cell.
let's not forget
That
about
has
our
tornado
folks
warning.
in Kansas. We do have a brief. We got another tornado warning up here for Abilene, Kansas. If you're up there on Interstate 70, you do got a spin up velocity couplet there within your cell. This is mainly QLCS type rotation, but we're gonna go ahead and really focus on our storms in Oklahoma. Again, I cannot stress this enough. If you are out in Hinsey, if you're on 51 or 132 or Wakamis, Oklahoma, you need to be in your safe place now. This will be heading into your area very soon. This also includes Lacey, Cato, and Bar, Oklahoma, or Bear, Bar, Oklahoma, either one. There, you need to be in your safe place. Be sure to try your best to find the safest place of your sturdy building there. Get away from walls. Good night. Get away from windows and doors as you possibly can. Move into an interior, sturdy room of your building. If somebody can take over real quick, I'm going to try to make a post. You're good.
I'm sorry. Give me 1 second. And I do apologize too. I actually,
That's all right.
I will have to get off here in a few minutes, um, at 8 o'clock. You know, but yeah,
Hey, welcome
I
in,
can at
Tanner.
least sort of talk them through real quick, Nick, if that's fine. Um,
We got
Hey.
Travis, Chad,
well,
Tanner, and we also have Michael. Michael is a storm chaser out in Kansas, currently chasing or getting ready. He's positioning to chase a few storms out there. But go ahead, Chad.
no. So I was definitely going to say, especially on that one cell and on those that are merging together, you know, those are definitely the cells we're gonna have to watch out for too. And you can really again see that strong signature, that strong surge of inflow, those winds, going inside, wrapping around that supercell, right, causing that rotation. Very, very evident there. And I mean, the rotation, it's just
And
structurally
not to interrupt you there, Chad,
at
it
least what I
does
would say
look
is
like in
incredible. And
reflectivity we had a bit of a donut hole at one point for a moment there. as the reflectivity or the hook was beginning to kind of twist into itself. And if you notice, the hook is almost stationary. That's an interesting. I've not seen that. Normally, you'll see the hook kind of go into itself, and it'll constantly do that as it recycles. But this hook, it has pretty much just it wrapped into itself, but it didn't go into the supercells. It kept on going within that.
Sorry, hold on. I want to interrupt here real fast. I am in Hayesville, Kansas, where we do have the Anthony Storm. Trying to get you guys a better shot, but my phone does not want to cooperate with my mount right now. So, but we are. I am starting to move towards it anyway. I'm in the basically the center of Hayesville right now, where we do have a cell entering. There's a better view for you guys right now. That's a wide view of the cell that's coming towards Wichita, Hazel, Kansas. This is the one that's coming towards from Anthony that was near that tornado cell, and I do have
Uh,
dry lightning, and it is starting to start
Michael, I want to
moving. So no
mention to
longer
you,
dry lightning.
I haven't really been
Storm
watching the
off.
Wichita storm here within the past couple of minutes. It does look like that storm has definitely weakened a little bit. I wonder if there's anything out there maybe causing it to kind of weaken a bit.
I think what's in front of me is starting to weaken it. I got some lightning coming up on here,
All right,
uh,
so
so I'm trying to get you guys a better view.
we're good.
I I do want to add on, and not to cut you off, Nick. I'm looking at this storm right here in Oklahoma, the Lacey and Praven storm, and it looks like we've already obviously we had the couplet to produce the warning. It looks like that couplet is starting to cut back up,
Let
and
me
it
look at
actually looks like we might
that.
have a debris ball.
Yep, I see that, and I do agree with you, Tanner. There, well, actually, that might be noise. Um, Yeah, that's gonna be noise at this moment, but I
Well,
wouldn't be surprised if we have good enough radar coverage. There is actually a bit of a velocity couplet there, so it's gonna be hard to tell. That could be, that could not be, but regardless, this is on the ground. It is of an observed tornado, so you need to be in your safe place regardless.
so
Yeah.
not to cut you off. It
Yep.
that
Okay.
couplet did cut
So
back a
we're
little bit.
continuing to see this observed tornado
So
warning out here just west of Lacey and Caddo, Oklahoma. You need to be in your safe place now. This is mainly a particularly dangerous, not a particularly dangerous situation. Sorry. This is a possible large tornado on the ground, maybe. If we got any extreme confirmation, we do have a shelf cloud with it, or not a shelf cloud, maybe a mesocyclone with it, but I don't see anything. Tanner, Travis, anybody, if you see any reports on media, let me know. Feel free to interrupt me. But as of now, I'm not seeing anything other than that velocity. But we do know it is confirmed. It's been spotter and media confirmed. And I mean, look at that. That is a classic supercell. That nice little inflow within it. You got two areas of inflow going into that storm and very, very intense. Possibly,
Oh wow.
it's a
Yeah.
very intense tornado possible here within the momentarily here. So we sure do hope that you continue to stay weather aware out here in this region, and that you just continue to follow guidelines. If you're on 51 heading towards Lacey, this is going to be a strong, dangerous tornado possibly on the ground. Take over for me, anybody, real quick. Just a brief moment.
Yes. Well, Nick, I just want to say yes, thank you so much for having me on and all too, and being able to be a part of your stream. Um, I do have to get going, um, so I do apologize on that. But yeah, thank you for having me.
Alrighty, Chad, I'll take over from here. Thank you so much for joining our stream. We wish you for the list of luck, and we will see you on the next stream.
Yes, that sounds good. Okay, thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Folks, here I'll take over until Nick comes back right now. I am currently in Hazel. This is looking to my south where Anthony is, Anthony, Kansas, anyway. This is the storm that I was talking about earlier. I'm not really seeing anything severe. We got some heavy rainfall out over that way. And like I said, this camera is not very good right now. I don't know what it is with my deal, but right now we are currently watching this. I am trying to log into my radar at the same time, so uh, I should have stayed in Wichita really because now it is starting to build to my north, which I'm going to switch my vehicle around here real fast. Uh, but it does look like it is building up on the north side of Wichita now,
Okay.
near the airport.
Michael, I'm going to interrupt here real
Travis,
quick.
do
I
you
do
have any
apologize, Travis,
idea
if I
price?
interrupted you as well. If you are in Lacey, you need to get underground. That's all I could say. This is going to be maybe a most likely, possibly, again, as I said before, damaging tornado. We got a very tight velocity couplet on this storm now that continues. Can I get an update? Did Chad leave there? Okay, that's all good. So we're going to continue to
Yeah,
see
Chad had
this
to log off.
large velocity couplet move over Lacey. If you are in Lacey, you need to be moving into your safe place now. If you haven't already, I really hope you have at this point. Tanner, Travis, Michael, if you see anything, feel free to interrupt me. But I'm going to go ahead and just mention this is a very, possibly very dangerous situation for the Lacey, Oklahoma region. You need to be in your safe place now. And stay there until this storm moves out of the area. Lacey mostly is going to be a small community, um, so very few homes is going to be out there in the Lacey region. But this storm is going to be moving mainly straight towards your region. Unfortunately, y'all may take a direct impact by this. Again, that's not what we want to see, but that's unfortunate on what it does look like we're going to see here. Uh, Tanner, Travis, and Michael, do you agree with me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Yes,
right
I
there
do.
with you. Sorry, not to cut you off. I'm right there with you, Nick. Bear with me here for a sec. I'm gonna hop on the green screen. So, obviously, you already know the deal. We kind of got the computers, so it's
Right.
I'm working on getting
Now, I
everything
don't
set up
have your
here.
green screen
So,
feed anymore,
bear
but
with me here.
okay. We're mainly gonna try to focus on my
I will get
screen because
that
I
to
don't
you.
want to kind of start setting up some stuff midstream like we have been in the past couple of streams, just to kind of focus on this high risk today, the best we can. But if things all well kind of start quieting it down, which unfortunately might not, most likely will not, we'll set it up later. Um, I'm gonna try setting up Travis with some stuff later as well, but as of
Okay.
now,
Does
uh,
Travis does Travis have a
no,
phone
I don't think
already?
so. No.
Okay. So here, put it this way. Go ahead and throw OBS in Studio View. If you throw OBS in Studio View, just add the
Okay.
browser and I'll send you the link.
I don't know
But
how
for
to
now,
do
just
that.
keep talking.
Oh. Well, I have it in Studio View. Never mind. I'm looking at it right now. So.
Okay.
But
Be advised, I do not want to go live on next page. I want them live on the Malgo page. Nick, if you want to use it live, use it from there.
I was about to say, Nick, Mr. Malico himself is wanting me on our
yep. Okay. I'll take your
go
live stream
live
from there if we need to.
like.
Um.
It does look like so Nick, it does look like this does potentially it does look like this does have a
Okay. Let me
potential
take a look. And we do
um
actually have two areas of
to break
rotation
off.
as well.
Uh,
Yep.
Nick, I'm gonna
Yep.
both of you guys here. I'm gonna go over to my page for a sec. I'm gonna go live there. If you guys want to follow me from there,
All good.
I do thank you for letting me join your stream, but I'm gonna move over to mine real fast. And if you guys want to follow me from there, right now as a last quick update, I'm not seeing anything severe near the Wichita area anymore. I am west of Hayesville at the Tri-City Day School, Hayesville High School area. Trying to figure out where my next deployment area is going to be. So
All right. Sounds good. You be
I will
safe,
be
Michael, and I'll
as
keep you
quickly as I
updated
can.
as of now.
Sounds
On the
good.
radar, but Like you said, nothing much is going on just yet, but we're going to continue to most likely see some development of some pop-up showers and storms out towards Wichita, and those could strengthen enough that we'll continue to have to monitor them. But you be safe, and I will tune into your live as soon as I can. All right.
Alrighty, give me about a couple minutes and we'll go live.
All
Nick,
right.
if
I
you
will
see
take
them
a look
links, I just
at
sent you.
them. Quick. Travis, if you don't mind talking, or anybody.
So, if Travis or I'm ready. So I'm right there with you, Nick. I do see that couplet that we are talking about. Obviously, this couplet is still being very defiant as it's still obviously spinning. Now, this does still mean that we could see a little bit of a better couplet kind of turn here, but looking right here at the debris, I'm looking at the at our correlation coefficients, and the correlation coefficients is showing a little bit of a better change. Now right here, and I'm actually going to circle it. That right there, my friends, this right here, what I just circled, this is our couplet. Okay, there's the red and green winds, and that is the sign that is defining our
Hey Tanner, I
couplet
want to
together here.
mention, love
And
the.
obviously we're
I
gonna continue
swear
to
your
watch this
camera looks
couplet.
so much better on whatever you're using now. Awesome. It looks
So
so much better.
I
It
got a new
loads
camera.
better.
We got a new
Everything
camera
works.
today.
Alright,
I
that
know.
sounds
I
good.
love
But
it.
go
I
ahead
love
and
it.
cover. I will
I'll send
move
you.
your scene
I'll
over.
talk later to you. But
Awesome.
yeah, I'll put it this way. I have a lot of stuff coming your way. So we have this couplet right here. You can see these the brighter reds. That is the better.
Alright, yeah, folks, bear with us. We're trying to
Okay.
get some of this
Just bear with us,
transferred
guys. We are
so we
trying
can
to get
actually see
stuff.
Tanner.
Talking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So, looking right here to the north of Lacey, actually, that's where that could be a hail core potential, and that's going to be making its way, moving into the Lacey area here momentarily. But right here, this is where Lacey is. Okay, right here, this is where Lacey is, and that is where we will be seeing next. Somebody needs to mute. Oh, you're good. All right, so moving right here through Caddo, so right here through Caddo, that is where we see that better couplet potential, and obviously, with the better potential for the couplet, that does mean that we could see a potential debris bubble. We don't see any debris. This right here is more than likely. Actually, it's going to. This right here is probably more than likely. This is just sound out of this system. But right now, that should be it. Let's go back to reflectivity, and you can see we kind of do have what is known as our inflow notch
Yeah.
right here, and then back up in here. This is where we have that better potential for hail. So this is where the hail would be. There's our inflow notch, because you can see it kind of separates, and you have the inflow notch where you're either
Nicholas,
picking up
the stream
debris
is
or
buffing.
wind. Yeah, Travis called you.
Don, the string buffing. It's working now.
Okay. All right. Right here, right to the north of Bar, you got Arms Road, East Ames, East 30 Road. That's where that potential couplet is going to be found here. So bear with me here for just a sec. I'm gonna grab my mouse here to fix this. So if you are just in Hennessy, so Hennessy, once again, this is where we have the inflow notch. The inflow notch comes right through here. Obviously, that's where the inflow notch should be set up and more than likely preserved. And yeah, the inflow notch is here. This would be our supercell, or this would be the tail end of the supercell with the inflow notch. Our hail. So obviously, this is a basically just a book structured supercell right now that we're dealing with. This is a book structured supercell that we are currently looking at here. So let's go. I want to see how tall these storms are in general. So bear with me. So these storms are about 45 or about 40,000 feet tall. So very very tall storms here. So you can see right here once again our supercell, our structured supercell, inflow notch, and the inflow notch is normally bringing in hail or just very extreme winds. So right here's the inflow notch, our textbook supercell, and back here's where you would have that could be either hail or extra wind that is coming through the supercell all together as one cell, if you will. Uh here. So let me
Um,
just
let's
fix
see.
that.
Bear with me.
So let's go back here.
There we
Stereo
go.
velocity. Obviously, this is where our confirmed
Hey, I want to
velocity couplet is
mention
going to be. Right
we
here is
do
the
continue.
confirmed velocity couplet together, or all together, if you will. That is going to be where that is going to be where we would see that confirmed couplet um as a cell.
Hey Tanner,
Now,
I don't want to
yes,
interrupt you here, but we do have we continue to see a
go ahead.
tornado warning for Pond Creek, Deer Creek, and Lamont, Oklahoma. That's just south of Medford, Oklahoma. If you got family that lives out there, be sure to tell them that they need to be staying in shelter. Not a very strong velocity out here, although pretty classic supercell continuing throughout this region as well. This will later move into Kansas um, later this evening, but we're really keeping our main focus on this storm just west of Hinsey, northwest of Hinsey, Oklahoma. Very, very, as Tanner was just mentioning, very strong velocity couplet there, and just a possible stronger tornado included. But Tanner, if you want to take it back over.
Yeah,
Might
so
be Hennessy.
the one right here in Hennessy or Hennessy, I think it's Hennessy. This again this was a confirmed. It probably still is a confirmed. But right now obviously we are just still waiting to see if it was confirmed or is confirmed. More than likely it is a confirmed, but it probably by now has lifted. I'm assuming. I'm assuming it would have had to have lifted by now. Let's see. I'm assuming because it doesn't look like we have any debris. Now, earlier, let's go actually go back here. Let's do 14 frames. I'm going to get a look here. Let me see if we actually ever had a debris. Yeah, down here is where we would have had that debris. If or when it touched down, this is where that debris would have been. But obviously it has more than likely lifted, which is definitely a good thing because we don't want that tornado that possibly was on the ground. Obviously, we don't want that on the ground. So
Yeah, I agree with you, Tanner, on that
yes,
one. I was listening to what you were saying as I was also helping out a chaser there real quick. If you look at velocity again, we're seeing a very tight couplet. Once again, it's really trying to redo it again. Maybe put down another tornado. If not, it's still observed. It's still an observed tornado that's possibly on the ground. I briefly lost your feed there. Not yet. I'm probably gonna have to refresh it.
Did it come back?
It's reloading. There we go.
Okay. Yeah. I see what you mean, Nick, right here. That's where those almost known as those two couplets are like they're bouncing back and
Tanner, I
forth.
don't
It's like brother and
think you
sister,
have the newest
they're
scan just
almost
yet, unless
fighting,
your
if you will.
speed is just
But
a little behind. But I
this
don't think you have the newest scan because mine.
my latest
Well,
scan
you're
was
an hour ahead.
8:13.
Mine was 7:13. So yeah. So maybe you did. Maybe you do have the right.
That's right. It'd be
Never mind.
7:13.
Maybe. Anyway, go ahead.
I don't know.
As
I
long as
may
we
be an
could see
old
it, that's
man.
well enough.
Yeah. This right here is where that couplet is probably still defined. Red are going, green going towards, red going away. So our radar say it's right up here. And so we have the red going down. So I'm going to make this into a simpler setup here. Red going down. Okay, there's our newer
Look
scan.
at
Red going down, green going toward. So right here where they exchange the red and green, that right here. So it was somewhere right in here where they exchange, where the green exchanges with red. This little thing right here. This little thing is where that rotation or couplet would be. Now that we are still watching it. So let's go back to reflectivity. Yep, there's that supercell. You see a textbook supercell right here. You see textbook supercell. So that's what we're watching right now. Nick, do you see anything on social media or Travis? Nick, Travis?
I haven't seen anything yet.
Okay. All right, that works. Obviously, if you did, let us know, or if you do, let us know.
I will.
Perfect. So obviously, we're still watching this textbook supercell that possibly has produced a tornado on the ground. We're going to continue to keep an eye out for it and watch and see if it works together to make a tornadic supercell for us here. So we're going to continue to watch this supercell together. So let's let this into the cell phone.
Awesome.
And there we go. So now you guys are in my ear, so if you say anything, I can hear you a little bit better. So, like I said, textbook supercell right there. We're gonna continue to watch for that. And I'm sorry if there's any
Yeah, I
banging around my
briefly
yard.
heard maybe possibly about a tornado on the ground. Not 100% sure. Did y'all hear anything about that? I heard something on a chat or something, but I
I
can't
have
be too
not. No.
sure. Relatively not.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and take a look
Yeah.
at
I
that.
can just tell it's
And folks, I am sharing my stream now, so you can see mine as Tanner is looking at social media real quick. And I want to mention here is our very, very just gradual. Actually, we got another possible donut hole within the velocity or reflectivity. It's matching up perfectly with the velocity, which is fairly interesting there. That is an interesting feat to see. So if you are, again, out in front of this, you need to be taking shelter now. If you're out towards Bison, Oklahoma, you need to be taking shelter immediately. This is still possibly on the ground. We got 11 minutes on this radar warning. I wouldn't be surprised to see an extension. And here's our newest scan. We still got those velocities really close together. They're coupleting still within that area. Bison, you may take a direct hit or at least see this couplet go to the north of you. You need to be in your safe place if you haven't been already. I hope you are. If you're on 81, you need to be moving off of that road now and moving into a sturdy building. Be sure to put as many walls as you possibly can between you from the outdoors. Be sure to stay away from windows and doors. Find you a bicycle helmet, more preferably a baseball helmet, to keep you safe from the larger hail and debris, just in case this does hit your area. But again, as I've said multiple times, you need to be in your safe place. Do not walk, but run to shelter immediately. This is going to be a possibly large, strong tornado still on the ground if it is. And
Yeah, sorry, Nick. I took my feet off here for a sec. I'm gonna try and get the
okay.
gonna try and get our stream up in front of me. But there's
I want to
still textbook
mention this,
supercell
even with the
still launching in
supercell,
here.
if you're on the ground like Vince and Brandon is, they're also seeing a classic textbook supercell view from just on the ground. So you got that rear flank, you got the rear flank downdraft, the front flank downdraft. That's a tongue twister when you say it multiple times. And it's just really continuing throughout the region. Larger hail is falling within this storm, most likely. So this just textbook. You could put it in a textbook, most likely. This is a larger supercell too.
If this
Yeah, I was
if
actually
this
about to
tornado
mention
is
there.
on the ground, it's gonna be rain wrapped.
Yep.
Yeah, most likely it's going to be rain wrapped. Exactly, Travis. Travis had exactly right. If this is on the ground,
Okay.
more than likely it's going to be rain wrapped. Don't mind me, my feet hurt, so I'm sitting. This is just to the north of Jack Choate Highway, and this more than likely is sounds, but obviously we're not sure as the radar picks up a lot of things that it thinks it is, but sometimes isn't. So
Yep.
we're gonna wait for another scan to come in. So if it is, obviously we want you in the lowest part of your home in as many walls between you and the outdoor as possible. I'm gonna put on a double zoom, and
And
I'm
I
gonna
just want to
throw
break
up
in. I'm not seeing
research
anything on
preparedness
social
for you.
media as of now,
For
other than a. Oh,
Nick.
Donut hole.
Nick, I
Got a
want
donut hole.
yep.
Nick, Travis,
Large
I want to cut
damaging
you off real
tornado.
quick here. Normally we see this right here when we
Yep.
have debris. So yeah,
Yep.
you can see obviously there's a center hole, and then there's a center hole
And they
right
just
here
issued
in
it
the
as a
corner
radar
between these.
indicator. They're most likely
Yeah,
going
that's
to
what I
issue it as a
emphasize.
PDS, particularly dangerous situation tornado warning. That's going to
Yep,
be a strong. Sorry to interrupt you, Tanner, but that's going to be a strong.
yep,
You know,
you're good. Yep, and there I see exactly because that you see this brighter red right here. It's actually it's not really lining up, but it is very try this on here. It is very similar to this one right here. Once again
Yeah.
you can see
And I'm currently watching
they
Vince
go hand in
Welty's
hand with
stream
each
real
other.
quick. I'm not seeing any visuals on his end, but again, like Travis mentioned, this tornado is going to be rain wrapped. Again, it's going to be a very rain wrapped, high HP supercell. Is most likely imminent within this. If you are out and around this tornado, you need to be in your safe place immediately. This is going to be a mostly damaging, possibly tornado on the ground. We got a donut hole on radar. This is probably one of the most. All right, that's probably upgrade to PDS if not.
new new tornado warning.
Is it radar?
Definitely not a PBS.
Come on, NWS.
Radar indicated.
Our donut hole broke up now. It looks like it's just there, but still, very, possibly a very large tornado that was just on the ground for there.
They could.
Go ahead. Um,
Nick, check coefficient. Just take a look at it.
not seeing anything
See
on
if there's
coefficient.
anything.
Here lately, coefficient's not been very helpful. Just saying. I haven't been able to, like, here out in Oklahoma, you cannot see nothing on coefficient unless it's like in a town. Um, but this is still a relatively large destructive tornado, most likely on the ground. You need to be in your safe place now. Can't stress it enough. Even though we lost our pinhole or radar hole, not even a radar hole, but just a hole, yeah, donut hole, you need to just really continue to monitor that.
Why is there a helicopter flying in
You're
this
good.
thing? Sorry. But I was looking on Storm Chaser Speed, I saw a helicopter flying around the storm.
Bear with me. Trying to inform Twitter peeps. Mal. Excuse me. Alright, so we're continuing to see this continue. We had a donut hole earlier. Now it's continuing to rotate. We still got a radar indicated tornado warning, although I want to mention, I want you folks to just take this as a note. This was previously on the ground. Even if it's radar indicated, it's most likely still on the ground. Current velocity is coming in. I'm actually wanting to take a scan here real quick of what's inside this storm. We have, it's honestly really hard to tell. I know the velocity is right here, down south of Bison, if not in Bison. So, interesting.
Oh, wow.
Is he actually
Nicholas,
in the
we have a
storm? Like,
helicopter in the storm. He's flying
might be one of the K9.
in front
K9.
of it.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I could be the news. K9.
Again, a very... Oh, I wasn't even sharing my screen. A most likely damaging tornado is on the ground still, just north of Hensley, impacting closely south of Bison, most likely here. You need to be in your safe place. I cannot stress this enough that you need to be in your safe place. We're really going to continue to see this ramp up, and we're going to continue to see this continue through the rest of the evening. This is probably going to be one of our long track supercells if it continues.
Yeah, Nick.
Hey, Tanner. I'm most likely going to have to head out briefly to
Go ahead.
do a weather update. You have access to my YouTube, correct? If you want to take over on that end with Travis, y'all two can, but I know within the next couple of minutes, I want to try to briefly leave and do a weather update for both the TMC Weather Center and my company as well.
Okay.
I mean, we can, but I know I'm going to come back fairly soon because this is still a large scale event that's going to continue throughout the rest of the evening. Right. I think this will last far into midnight, most likely. Or, you know. But as of now, I do plan to stay here for the moment.
Right. I mean, yeah, I can try and take it. I'm not sure if it'll let me because I know YouTube did this dumb thing.
Right.
Like, you can only do.
Well, I know I can quickly end it, and you can quickly,
Yeah.
like, read.
So, I mean,
Alright, so folks, as you hear, we will be right back. We're going to go ahead and try to do a, pass it over to Tanner, and, but we still got a damaging tornado possible.